I will fix you with my method. And you've been manifesting things wrong because you have this unique wiring that needs unpicking. There's this trend of people trying to explain to other people how broken they are. I've been on threads, I've been on social media recently. And the thing is, don't get me wrong, I work with clients and I see all sorts of patterns and I see all sorts of ways in which people live, and I can see exactly what's stopping them. I can see exactly what patterns they're in. I can see exactly what loops they're in. But the point is, you cannot actually say that manifestation doesn't work and for this certain person because of their wiring. The principles always stay the same. The idea and the laws of the universe will always work in the same way. Everything remains the same. So it's not a case of this method will work for everyone else but you. It's the case of how deep are you willing to go inside of yourself in order for you to have the thing that you want. How deep inside of you are you willing to go in order to grow into a person who can hold exactly what you want. There's nothing wrong with the manifestation methods. They'll work either way. What's wrong is telling people that they're in some way broken beyond the normal manifestation methods and normal universal laws. That's really not the case. I often share methods in which you can manifest what you desire. And that works for a lot of people, but it works for people that have already done the inner work. So if you come in here expecting shortcuts, this is not a place. Shortcuts will not get you into the meaningful place. I mean, there is no shortcut in learning how to drive. There is no shortcut in learning how to walk. There's no shortcuts. There's aids that you can use in order for you to learn faster and people that can help you along the way. But there is no shortcuts and no hacks in actually getting your subconscious to rewire, the patterns to change, the people selling you the strategy that always works. Well, it might work for them, but you don't know what they've already done. You don't know what they've already implemented. What I would like you to take away from this is that, one, there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing inherently wrong with you that your manifestation, the reason is your manifestation isn't working. So simple. Your manifestation isn't working because the process of you manifesting what you want has not yet been completed. And that's literally it. So when you want something and you're trying to visualize something, affirm something, manifest something, and it's not coming through, then that is literally your mirror. That is your indication to say there is more to be done. There is something more to be tweaked and changed and reprogrammed in your own brain, and like neuro pathways changed in your brain in order for you to start acting differently. And lots of people go through clearings with like the spiritual mentors, and that's brilliant, but they can only do so much. So if you clear the old pathway, it's your responsibility to then maintain the new path. So you can bring a gardener literally into your garden and he'll create you a path. But if you don't maintain the path and keep taking the old path, this path will end up being overgrown. And it's literally exactly the same with manifestation, exactly the same with growth. So you will go through periods of time where you will need to strip off the things that don't work. You'll have to strip off the things that you acquired as a child, you acquired through adolescence, you learned to believe that are not actually true. You'll strip away the patterns that you saw your parents living and implementing and actually requiring you to follow. You'll strip away so many things. Once you do, that's when you can start adding. That's when you can start creating more. Like manifestation, first of all, works by subtraction. And I know this sounds so weird because how you subtracting to then add, how are you taking away to add? But if there is no room, if you have a glass full of water, you cannot pour any more in. So if your glass, literally your vessel, is full of old beliefs, old patterns, old loops, everything that's old that no longer serves you, that is not true, and that is not aligned with the version of you where you're heading, then how can you pour more good in it? How can you pour more miracles in it? How can you pour manifestation in it? How can you pour everything that's good, that's coming in it when there is no room? So you have to take things off. And that's literally what I do with my clients all the time. But first of all, before you can even take anything off, you need to be able to know that it's there. You need to be able to see what's inside the container. Because oftentimes we're so deeply engrossed in it, we're so deep inside of it that we cannot see our way out, because we don't even know that we sat inside of this pattern. You need to see it first. Then you need to take it off. Look at all of it, especially if you get to the point where you see something and you want to look away. That particular moment is one of the most crucial moments, because that moment, that place, that space, that thing that you don't want to look at is the exact thing that you have to look at, that you have to unravel, because there sits your freedom. There sits your cause of why things aren't working how you want them to work. And for some people, this is fast. For some people, it takes time. Time is irrelevant in here. The main thing for you is actually doing the work, actually going through what you need to go through in order to come out on the other side. And sometimes it feels absolutely awful. And sometimes it feels like you've stripped yourself so bare, which is literally exactly where I'm standing right now, where you feel like you stripped yourself bare and you're standing there with this pink skin and you feel free. It's a bit scary because where you're going, you haven't got your armor, but also the container is empty. And I did this amazing video for someone, and we talked about childlike wonder. And this is one of the parts of things that are really required for you to manifest what you want, because once you clear the container, you can then start pouring into it. But if you start attaching yourself to control and strategy and how things must come through and how things must happen for you, then you are actually trying to steer this massive river into this tiny channel and canal that it's not meant to go in. Your job is not to know how. That is not your job. We all think and have this really crazy idea of control. If I only can control how this happens, I'm going to be safe. If I only can control how I do things, I'm going to be happy and safe. If I only can control that person, it means that they can't hurt me. If I only can control this money, this outcome, and then we get so ingrained in controlling things because we don't trust that we can be held in it. We don't trust that we can be safe in receiving. So we constantly try to override things and force things. And the moment you start forcing anywhere in life, like I invite you to really notice when you really start looking at your life and think, I really need to push harder here, force this outcome in this way. That's your invitation to actually step back, let go, have a think about it. Why am I forcing it? What am I not trusting will come to me? Where am I thinking that if I only do more, I will then receive more? Because there is no bigger misconception in this world that if you do more, I will receive more, or I am more likely to be worthy of receiving more. Actually, receiving has nothing to do with it. So if you can approach this with a childlike wonder and detach yourself from this, I really want this and I would absolutely love this, but also I am open to receiving what's best for me. So I'm going to look at this thing that I desire and think to myself, it's this or something better. I want this or something better. And I trust that the universe, who can see millions of paths for me to get to where I want to be and the feeling that I want to have from what I desire, is going to deliver to me the best possible way of getting that, the best possible outcome, the best possible least resistance path. So it's not up to me to go and find a way how I'm going to get it. My job is to understand what I want, hold the feeling of it, and take aligned actions. So when actions presented to me, when opportunities are presented to me, it's my job to take those opportunities. It's my job to not question it. If I feel pulled to this, If I'm presented with this opportunity, my job is to take it in that moment in time, because I don't know where it's going to take me, and that's okay. I'm going to take it anyway in trust and faith that I am always looked after, everything always works out in my favor, and I am being delivered this incredible picture. Because I could have never imagined in a million years how things worked out in my life. I would have never been able to pre-plan how I'm going to meet my husband. I was never going to pre-plan how we found investment and how people found us, and how my mum's death actually brought the biggest clarity and change in my life that put me on the path of where I am now, where I would have maybe not been on for ages. It's not up to me to decide how things get delivered to me. My only role and your only role is to hold it in your heart, take aligned action, and become the person who already has it. What do they do? What do they feel? What do they think? How do they act? And start slowly implementing those things in your life. Because the person who has 10 clients, 20K months, is not the same person. She doesn't think the same way and act the same way as the person who has no clients and no income of 1K months. It's completely different. The capacity of the person who has low income months is completely different to the capacity of the person who has high income months, because they have to deal with different challenges. In our lives, we will have challenges. That is normal. We never fully arrive at the time where there's no challenges, when there is nothing to do. We will always grow, and we will always be presented with challenges. So our job really is to stretch and regulate enough so we can hold those challenges. So this is not like a doomsday scenario where things will always go wrong, but you will be challenged to grow. You will be asked to stretch your capacity to what you can hold. Because if you now cannot hold the fact that you can't pay a bill without completely and utterly falling into scarcity mindset, then how can you possibly be a person who holds employees in an empire where sometimes you may not be able to pay the clients because there is a delay, and then without completely falling apart and everything falling to pieces? It's not the same mechanism. So you need to upgrade your almost like internal programs in order for you to be able to manage it on a different level, because that will require more stretching, that will require more regulation. But don't just rely on people to come into your life, giving you all this information, and then you doing nothing with it, or you doing some of the work and then expecting things to change forever. There is always going to be a pushback. There's always going to be pressure from your old paradigms, of your old programming, of your old beliefs that will press against brand new belief. And it's your job to act differently in that moment. Because this is not a test. People talk about test. Life is not testing you. It's just the old meets the new in a question of, are you preferring the old or are you preferring the new? And that is your opportunity then to choose which way you're going to go. But that's essentially what manifesting is. All of the things that I've just shown you is the methodology that you need to implement in order to manifest. Because you can follow law of attraction, law of assumption, you can follow all the other laws of the universe, but essentially you have to align yourself with what you desire. You have to strip away things that don't work, because you have to keep mental diet, as Neville Goddard says. You have to follow certain path in order to get what you want. And also detach yourself completely from the outcome, because you know that whether you have it or you don't have it, or you have it this way or you have it that way, you're going to be okay. You're going to be safe. No matter the outcome, you are safe and you are okay. And you don't need this to happen, because need is the desperation, and that never brings results. It only brings more desperation. So what you feed yourself and how you feel about what you want is going to change everything. And it's going to change the whole way how this is going to get delivered to you. But remember, the fact that it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. because the law of gestation says that everything will happen in its own time. And certain things you might manifest really quickly, and certain things might take a lot longer. But that doesn't mean it's not happening. Your only role is to stay in knowing that you already have exactly what you want. You're acting as if you already have it. Actually starting to enjoy the process and stop being so attached to the outcome. The outcome comes. The moment you take your eye off it and actually start enjoying the process, the outcome comes. I hope this helps you understand why manifestation is a process like anything else, and so are the quantum leaps. And if you tick all the right boxes, that's exactly how it happens and when it happens. And it can happen really quickly, or you can take some time. But in the end, it doesn't matter as long as you're enjoying the journey and enjoying your growth. That's all that matters. If you're looking for more growth and more simplicity and ease in your life, subscribe to my channel, and I see you here in the next video.